to introduce to you my friend, Damian. Damian, give me 1 sec there. There we go. Let's split this up. How are you, sir? Can you hear me? I think you might be muted. I can't. 1 second. Let me see if I can adjust something on my end. Yeah, I still can't. Guys, bear with us as we deal with this. This fun stuff happens, all part of the game. Yeah, I can't hear you, Damien. Give me 1 sec. Let me see if I can. No, you're muted. I'm not muted either. Um, yeah, I can't hear anything. But you can hear me? Yeah, I can't hear anything. Uh, what's that? Damien, did you want to try and log off and log back on? All right, guys, my apologies. Like I was saying earlier, we will not be with you on the 4th of July. I hope everyone has a good time, safe time, regardless of any political affiliation. You know, we all share this country. Let's make it a good time for everybody. Let's see if Damien can get back on here now. Keeping our fingers crossed. Damien, can you hear me? Still nothing. Wondering if it's maybe the headset. Yeah, it looks like everything's good on my side. And all right, so for those that are watching this live, my apologies. For those that will be watching this edited, we will clean this up so you guys will not know that this happened. Um, really working on getting Damien on board. Uh, hoping everyone's having a good summer so far, just getting started. There's so much good stuff coming along the way. When we come back from our 4th of July break, we will be joined by the New York Punk Rats killer band out in New York City. Excited to talk with them. Let's see if we can get Damian.
Anything?
I can hear you now. I can't see you.
Okay, so we got one problem fixed here. Why is yeah, I don't know. I guess it's strange. Okay, well
Well, if you want to keep messing around with the video while we speak, I mean, feel free. We'll just run it like this for now. I'll just put it on a full screen of my
dude,
ugly
that's so
mug.
weird.
Um, but Damien, thank you for taking time out of your weekend to hang with us tonight.
Yeah, no problem.
So I see that you guys have been quite busy on the MonteCarlo side. I know that you guys released a single. What was it? 2 weeks ago?
Uh when did it come out? Well, the single we put out I don't know, maybe a couple months ago, called Maze, and then about a month ago we put out a video for that.
There it is. Yeah, that's what I was thinking about.
Yeah.
Was the video that came out about a month ago? Killer video.
Yeah,
Um,
thanks.
so what was on board? I wanted to ask a little bit about that video and what went into making that video a little bit different from what I've seen you guys do previously. Um, how was the filming and how long did that take you guys put together?
I don't know. I mean, honestly, I wasn't really a part of that at all. I mean, Bert, our singer, he's really into the video stuff, and he's been doing all of our videos for I don't know, for like the past few years. So
Gotcha.
Yeah, so he did all that stuff. Actually, looks like my video came back here. But speaking of videos, but
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Hold
here
on
we
for a
go.
minute.
Yeah, I'm just
Good
clicking around
stuff.
here. So yeah, so
There
I'm
we
just clicking
go.
around with this. So yeah, so he's been doing all our videos, and I think he did our first video maybe like man, maybe like 4 years ago, and he's really come a long way with it. So he uses like a lot of I don't know what the proper terminology is for it, but um like domain free kind of videos content, and he
Gotcha.
and I think he might have used like a little bit of other like effects and everything to get to get what he wants out of it. He's got like a whole he could tell you a whole story. He's got a whole he writes out these storyboards and everything like he's making a movie and all that stuff for
Wow.
these videos. Yeah, so we're not even in the video, which I got no problem with at all,
Yeah, I
really. But
seen that. Yeah, no sign of the band at all in there. But I
yeah,
wanted to ask you, you guys have put out quite a few singles from the beginning of the band till now.
yeah.
You guys have only had the one EP, which was I believe only 3 songs. Any uh any thought to collecting everything together for
Yeah, well,
one, or do you guys have any albums you're working on?
yeah, actually, we put out our first EP in 2021, which was a collection of the first 5 or 6 singles that we put out. That was called Original Sin. Our second one called Super Double Fine that came out. What was that? 22, I think. That was like 8 songs, and then
Okay. I'm
in
looking at
20
it now.
yeah, in 23 we put out Synthetic World. That was 6 songs. 25
Yes.
last year we put out 3 songs. So every year we've been putting stuff out, and usually the way we do it is we put out singles up and until if like currently we have 7 songs in the can, and we'll probably
Awesome.
release the entire EP. Maybe after we release like the fourth or fifth track, then we'll release everything as a whole unit. But and then we have a plan. Like we'll put the video out first, followed by the single, maybe a month or two after that. um because in the old days, and even I see bands do it now still, where they put out like the single and the video at the same day, and I kind of feel like uh you're kind of like losing your audience, because I don't think
Yeah.
everybody is going to like check out both. I think they'll check out one or the other. So why, to me, it makes sense just to kind of like spread it out. Maybe put out the single first, and then maybe 3 weeks or a month after that, then put out the video. They'll want to check that out, and then maybe a month after that, put out a new single. So that's kind of been like the plan, and it kind of prolongs everything. So we do that throughout the year,
Yeah.
and then when the next year comes up, we already have a bunch of new songs. So I mean, I'm just looking at our Spotify, because it's impossible. I can't remember everything really anymore. But yeah, I mean, we've consistently put out stuff since like the end of 2020. It's just always been like stuff coming out. So I mean, it doesn't seem
Now,
that way all the time, but
you
we've
and I
always
both
been
came
busy.
out of that, going back to what you were saying about giving that space between letting the single breathe and then dropping the video. We both came from that MTV era. We both grew up on that. We both cut our teeth on that. Um, and it was always cool to hear the numbers and to see like what they do with that song, what kind of video they put out. With a lot of different bands now and social media being such a presence that it is, how critical to you is like the look of the band or the feel of the band as far as presence is concerned?
Well, yeah, I mean, you always want to put something out. It's like you're selling a product. If you invent something like I don't know, you can invent the greatest thing, like I don't know, some brand new, I don't know, telephone, cell phone or TV or something, and it could be the greatest thing ever. But if it's not packaged and marketed correctly, it's gonna kind of like nobody's going to pay attention to it. So, when we put something out, a video, we want everybody to kind of look like a cohesive unit and have some cool visuals in there, and maybe even some sort of a story to go along with it, because I mean, these days people have very short attention span. So, I mean, it used to be, if you don't get people within the first minute, forget about it. But now I mean, you got to you
10
got to
seconds.
grab yeah, you got to grab people within the first like 10, 15 seconds. If you don't have something going on like that quick in that short span of time, forget it. So everything you really need to have like a fine attention to detail with this stuff, whether it be
Now, I know
music
with
and
a lot
videos.
of bands, like seeing some bands play out different venues, different bars, clubs, that kind of thing, it always kind of was a pet peeve of mine. Maybe it's because I'm just a purist or traditionalist, but to see it just a bunch of like ragtag guys get up there, not having any kind of look to them, kind of just getting up in clothes that look like they just got off working. And to me, there's a difference between a band that kind of puts that image together and a band that just kind of doesn't care about the image. Um, how much do you think, or would you say that Monte Carlo deals with that image?
Um, yeah, I mean, I don't really think we put that much thought into it. We just kind of like show up, and it all kind of works. I mean, everyone is pretty confident in the other individuals in the band that we're going to pull something together. It's some bands need to they'll get together and they'll talk about, hey man, make sure we all wear black, or you don't wear that bright neon green shirt, and everyone else is wearing black. It's going to look weird. But I'm everybody. I don't think anybody really has to be told,
Yeah,
in the band.
I
But
hear it.
it all depends on the type of music and the type of band you're playing. If it's like a raunchy ACDC type of band, you kind of I think you're okay with just jeans and t-shirts, that kind of rugged, kind of you know blue collar, kind of rock look. It kind of works. It would be a little ridiculous if they're wearing you know uh like sequin shirts, or something like that, playing playing that kind of music. It would be a little silly. But yeah, you just got to know, you got to be self-aware, and see where you kind of fit in, what you could pull off, I guess.
And another thing, just on a total different top total. What are your thoughts on some of these some of the favorites going out there? I'm thinking about Ozzy, who's supposedly having this AI thing come out on tour. Or I mean, your big favorite band was Kiss, and I don't think I've seen anything from the Avatar since they mentioned that they were going to have this kind of Avatar thing. Do you think that that's the wave, like what's coming down the pike, or do you think these are just like novelty things that are just going to lose
Yeah, I don't
steam?
know. I mean, that Kiss thing, that's coming out next year, and supposedly, like, you know, um, George Lucas's Industrial Light and Magic team, they're like behind it. So I don't think it's gonna. I kind of wish they didn't show what they did already, because that turned people off, and what they keep on telling everybody, it's not going to be anything like that. So like, why even show that? But uh, I'd be curious to see
Right.
what it's like. I mean, but um, I don't know. I mean, we're in a different age now, where technology is constantly changing, so quick. Uh, I would expect to see more of that stuff. As we get older, see more of this AI hologram type stuff, whatever you want to call it. If you don't like it, if it's not for you, don't see it. So I mean, that's what it really all comes down to, if it's going to be successful
Right.
or not, really. I mean, if it's cool and everything, and it's a cool show and everything, yeah, I mean, it could last. But if it's going to be some hokey thing, and it's going to turn a lot of fans off and not really make any new fans, then it's like anything, it'll probably just die. But yeah, I mean, I try to be open-minded with that stuff, and see what it's like. I mean, it's who knows what things are going to be like in 20 years. All these guys are going to be gone anyway. So They're just
Absolutely.
trying
That
to,
that was
you
kind
know.
of that was my next question to you, and it's one of the things that I've noticed the most is the bands and the artists that are doing things like that are all the legends that have been around since we were kids. What do you think it is about that music per se or that genre that still has even the current generation running back to?
Yeah, I don't know. I think it came at it came at a time where, where things were fun and people didn't really think too much into, too deeply into things. And, like the 60s, 70s, 80s rock, people just wanted to have a good time. And it was very, especially like the 80s stuff with MTV, everything was so visual, and now it's just kind of, and there was a mystique behind all those bands, not just bands like Kiss, but any band. You didn't know what they ate, you didn't know if they ate Cheerios for, for breakfast or what. Now you go on their Twitter or Instagram, you see everything that these people do daily,
Yeah.
and there's,
Yep.
it's almost like you really know them personally, and it's, they take you into their home and everything. You see where they're at from day to day, and there's no mystique, there's no mystery. Back then, you wanted to know what they were doing after the show, and now it's like you could see, they'll post something that they're not doing anything crazy,
Right.
backstage or whatever. But when we were younger and everything, bands in that time, you think, all these crazy thoughts. So I think, and the music was just great, all around, those decades, it was just, it was different. Everything was new. People were younger. People weren't jaded yet. It's different now, even like a lot of these new young bands that are coming out, they're just trying to recreate something that already happened, which I guess is,
Yeah.
which is cool. But, a lot of it, like I see a lot of these 70s, like Led Zeppelin type bands, like every year there's like a new crop of them. And it's
Yeah, you got like
like
bands like Greta
cosplay.
Van Fleet. You got Greta Van Fleet coming down the pike. You also have bands that I think are like I think Ghost really took a lot out of Kiss's playbook and other like maybe Alice
Yeah,
Cooper's
I
playbook.
love Ghost. Yeah.
Oh, so do I. I think their music's fantastic. I think they're one of
Yeah.
the only bands left out there, like you were saying, that has that mystique. You don't really know. I mean, yeah, you know the lead singer, you know
Yeah,
Tobias
now
and
you
what
do.
he's
Yeah.
doing, but
Well,
you still have that mystique behind that band, and you don't know who's involved. And
yeah, and a cool
I
thing they
love that.
did is, I saw them last summer when they came around, and a lot of people were complaining about it. I thought it was great, but one thing they did was that you had to put your cell phones away. They gave you like some security pouch or something, and you collected it at the end of the show, and it was pretty easy and painless, and it was great not having my phone on me and not seeing everybody with their cameras up taking pictures and
Absolutely.
videos, because you didn't know like what the set list was, you didn't know what the stage was going to look like, and so you're really fully immersed in the show and seeing it was, man, I wasn't a fan of them like 10 years ago. It took me a lot to really get into them. I had free tickets for a show about 8 years ago, and that's when it all connected, and I just been a fan since. And every album to me has been getting better and better. And when I saw them last year, it was easily one of the top 5 concerts I've ever been to. It was just a great show.
I gotta say, I seen them at a festival in the Philadelphia Union Stadium. They were
Yeah, I
there
saw
for a
them at
rock
that one. Yeah.
festival there.
Hmm.
And then they went, I seen them open up, or they played the man, not the man, the TLA in Philly. Then I saw them open up for Iron Maiden in Long Island.
Hmm.
And then I saw them on their own. And it was incredible for me to see how far they went
Yeah.
from that festival show to their headlining show. And like how much goes into again the appearance, the look, the mystique, the like everything from the glitter to the sequins jackets that like Papa wears at the end, and
Oh, it's
like
great.
really cool
Yeah.
stuff. But are there any other bands that like you feel are in that kind of realm, that exciting newer bands that you're listening to?
Uh, I mean, there's a newer band. They've actually been around for a little over 10 years. They're called the Starbenders. I mean, there's like really no mystique behind. I mean, they're all they're all just like,
Gotcha.
but they look, they're a really cool looking band. They got a great image, but their songs are just incredible. And I was a fan of them maybe like 10 years ago. They're sort of like on a, like kind of like garage rock, which I do kind of like some of that stuff. Kind of like garage indie rock. And then like every album just kept on getting like more hard rock metal. And uh they're they put out an album a few months ago, but the album before that, I think it's called Take Back the Night, I think, or something. It's incredible record. I mean, it's so good, and they have great stage presence. They look cool. They, female fronted band. It's there's great songs, and they get me really excited. When I see a band like that, it gets me really excited about music.
Now we always have most people check out this show on the replay or on the audio on Spotify. All those things are available after the show. Um, talk a little bit about Mach 2, if that's all right. Now I go back with you back to Mach 22. That's when you and I met. I heard there's a little bit of rumblings there. Okay, anything you can reveal?
Yeah, well, we've been kind of like slowly, uh it's all like through email, really. I mean, we haven't gotten in a room at all, but that's just how people do things now. But yeah, we've been putting together songs. We got maybe uh I recorded drum tracks for like, I think it's 9 or 10 songs. I can't remember, but it's been stuff that you know Lamont's kind of been spearheading this whole thing, and he's been reaching out to all the guys and compiling all this stuff and putting these songs together. And yeah, about in May, I recorded all these drum tracks. So I mean, really, I mean, that's all the info that I have. I have no idea
Gotcha.
when it's coming out. Um, you know, I don't really have any rough mixes or anything, but I mean, I would hope it will
It's
be out maybe
an
by the end of the year.
amazing. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Say that again.
Yeah, I'm hoping that it would be out probably by the end of the year, I guess. I mean, there's really no rush, but something's
Awesome.
gonna come at some point.
Yeah, I mean, you have Jaron Gelina, who's part of that, who's all over the place, all over the world. Sebastian's in a totally different location. So it's an amazing day where guys are able to piece that together and not have
Yeah.
to be all together at all time with so many different things going on. Now, are you doing anything outside of Monte Carlo and Mach 22? I know there
Um,
were points where I knew you were doing like 5 different bands at one point. Like, how
yeah.
busy are you these days?
Yeah, I mean, I don't wanna I think, like, before COVID, I was literally, like, in doing, like, 5 or 6 different things, and, that really made me kinda reflect and slow down a lot. Like, I just I love music so much, and I love creating music a lot, but I don't wanna be pulled in 5, 6 different directions either. But
Yeah.
um yeah, I mean, I'm always I take on, what I know I can handle. So I mean, yeah, so Mach 22, really, I mean, it's there. It's not really a band that takes up much or any of my time, really. It's just it's really a project that's at this point. And whenever everybody's available, we'll probably, you know, do another show or something. But yeah, Monte Carlo is the constant. We're always writing and recording music. And then I got like an electronic kind of like, they call it like synth wave. Like it's just like electronic.
Okay.
It's just me. And it's like, I guess the best way to describe it, it's kind of like it's like Stranger Things music, I guess.
Okay.
It sounds like 80s
Like John
80s
Carpenter
music.
type stuff.
Yeah, exactly. It's exactly what it
Awesome.
is. So I put out an EP of that in October. I actually took a break. It's so funny. Like I took a break from Facebook from like September until like December or January last year, and in between that period is when I put out this music. So I didn't even care about promoting it at all. I just wanted to get it out. So I put it out. You know, most people don't even know that I did it, but it's
What is the name of that, if you don't mind me asking? Because I definitely want to check that out after the show.
yeah, I called that the Darkade, like so like arcade, but like
Okay,
Darkade. And it's an EP. I put it out on Spotify. I think it's 6 songs. 5 or 6 songs I did, and each song is based on like an '80s horror or action movie. So I got one song.
nice.
I got one song about, and it's all instrumental. So you know, it's kind. I got this one song about about RoboCop called Murphy's Awakening, and it's basically if you listen to it, you kind of feel like you're in the movie. And then I got one about Nightmare on Elm Street, one based on Fright Night, Poltergeist. Uh, what else? I think there's a Halloween one. I forget, but I got a bunch of other ones that I'm working on too. But that's just it's just
I
something that I
became
like to do.
such a I became such an Ice Nine Kills fan because of their
Yeah,
nod to all the '80s horror stuff.
yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah, like cool stuff.
yeah, yeah. And their videos are really cool. I want to like that band so much more. Um, I love their videos, but their music is a little bit too screamy for me. But
Yeah, I
I
agree.
think yeah, I think eventually they'll be like my new Ghost. Like they'll eventually grow on me.
I've seen
To
video
that point.
clips
But
where they do different things on stage with total nods to the '80s horror, which I absolutely love.
yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
now, as far as Monicans, your upcoming shows look like, you have a lot coming up.
No, not really. I mean, we have one show August 29th at the Mummers Museum with a bunch of other bands. Seems like
Yeah, I'm
Tuesday.
hyped for that show. Boss Hydro is part of
Boss
that.
Hydro, yeah, I forget who else. It might be like 6 bands are on that, but, yeah, that's really all. I mean, honestly, man, it's, I mean, I couldn't tell you if you put a gun to my head and told me to name 5 venues, in the area that original bands can play at, I couldn't tell you. I really don't know. So it's
Yeah,
so much different now. I mean, I got guys that I work with that play in bands, and they do like house basement shows and stuff like that. Like,
yeah.
they'll rent out a space and they'll do their own stuff. So it's it's different, but I really I'm okay with that. I mean, I don't want to play out do I want to once or twice a month or every other
Yeah,
month
I hear you.
is too much, really. I would like to rather do it like a handful of times a year and make it feel like something, because the other side people kind of forget is we're getting older, and not that we can't go out
Yeah,
and do it, but people who will come out to see us can't do it all the time because yeah, they're parents,
right.
they're even grandparents now. So it's like, and they have lives, life changes after 40, 45, 50 years old. It's people don't want to go out every weekend like they used to. So,
And I
you know,
got to say, going back to the electronic type stuff, that stuff is able to keep you busy, and like the merchandising behind, like as far as selling it to movies or video game soundtracks, which seem to be blowing up like crazy
yeah,
right now. There's so many outlets for that, and then still keeping the rock edge going with Monte Carlo seems like
yeah.
a good balance for you.
Yeah, I got my hands in everything that kind of keeps me happy. And it's funny with the electronic thing, like I don't even put it out there like on Facebook or Instagram at all. I created it, and I was so against TikTok because I just never to me it was like stuff for for kids, and I don't want to
Right.
indulge myself in that. But I said let me just start a TikTok page for this synthwave project. And I just kind of built it up, man. And like the first couple months I put that stuff out on Spotify. Like I had like 500, 600 monthly listeners, and I was getting a
That's awesome.
really decent amount of streams. And it wasn't even from people I didn't know any of these people. They're just people all over the world that are into this stuff. So it's kind of like a whole other world for me that I'm still trying to, figure out and stuff.
Yes. Have you? So one thing that I kind of took a big step away from was going to concerts. Like I watch a lot of stuff at home now.
Yeah.
I feel like everybody that I wanted to see, I kind of saw already. How are you feeling as far as the live events are concerned, as far as concerts and things like that? And it gets so expensive as well. The ticket prices are out of this
Yeah.
world.
I mean, I used to go out to see bands, a lot, but I kind of feel like, a lot of the bands that that I like, they just it's just the same recycled show and songs and everything, and a lot of the bands are kind of like in that legacy nostalgia thing. So,
Yep.
people will go to see them. They're maybe like the casual fan. So I understand that they're only going to play like the popular hit songs. You know that's really not for me anymore, because some of these bands I used to love to see, like, yeah, man, I don't know, like, not that it's bad or anything. I don't even wanna name some of the bands, but a lot of the
It's
eight.
funny how quick the nostalgia kind of goes too, because I remember, man, what was it? 2 years ago, you had Motley Crue doing football stadiums, and now they're doing small amphitheaters,
Yeah,
and it's
yeah,
like
right.
within 2 years that nostalgia changed, and
Well,
it's like,
that's it's a perfect example, right? I mean, I saw Motley Crue enough times, like, I don't need to see them again. So I mean,
yeah, I hear you.
um, if they did, if they said they're gonna play Shout at the Devil in its entirety, I would go see that. But they're going to play the same songs. They're not going to do anything deep. They'll say they'll pull out a deep track, and it's actually something that they played in their last tour that they probably forgot about or something. So some of these bands, you know, I don't really have much desire to see. So I mean, I don't even know when the next. I think Tom Kiefer's coming around. I'll probably go see Tom Kiefer, but even him, he
Now I
plays
know
pretty much the same set.
my sore spot was AC/DC still. I mean, Angus looks like Doc Brown, and like
Yeah.
Malcolm Young is like gone now for a couple years now, and to me the band has the same, and just the, the idea of that price tag is beyond me.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, ticket prices are for anything are just outrageous. But you got to kind of play the game. Like, for some of those bigger shows like that, I look on StubHub and SeatGeek like the day of the show, like that afternoon, and
Yeah,
man, you'd be surprised sometimes those prices drop, so far down. Like, well, who do we see? Rolling Stones when they came around here. Last year or 2 years ago? I mean, their ticket prices are always outrageous, but the morning of the show, they released a bunch of seats on the first level on the side, and face value was like, I don't know, it was like maybe like a little over $100 or something, which is actually like a bargain these days for a
right.
ticket like that. So I went down to Lincoln Financial Field to their ticket office, and I bought the ticket there, and there was no service charge. It was just the ticket plus tax. So, and that's the other thing, the service charges. Like, I just can't do it. Like,
Yeah,
$75 or $100, $150 for a ticket, and then the service charge is 50, $75. I just can't.
and then the
I, I,
service
I
fee
just
is
can't
about
do
as
it. It's
much
not
as
right.
what the parking is. And then you
Yeah.
got the
Then you got the parking. Yeah.
parking, and then because the concessions, like I quit drinking almost a year ago, and it's like I can't imagine walking into one of these places
Twenty
and paying
bucks for a
$20
beer.
for a beer.
Yeah. It's crazy. I
It's
mean,
insane.
you go with, you take your wife and you need to bring like counting the concert tickets and everything, $500. I mean,
Yeah.
it's crazy. It's ridiculous.
And meanwhile, there are some venues out there. There are some smaller, um, like I love the TLA. I love what else is out there. Um, God, I'm trying to remember the name of the room. It's all purple. It has a big chandelier. It's in Philly. It's
Uh,
near
is that the Fillmore?
Fillmore. It's a beautiful place. I'd rather go to places like that than
Yeah,
giant
yeah,
venues anymore.
yeah.
But so we have the Mummers Museum, which I'm really trying to get out to that show because there's so many of you guys that I think there's so many bands that I know of that are playing such a cool thing. I grew up as a Mummers Parade from when I was two straight through, so that's a big thing that's near and dear to my heart. Um, but anything else that you want to promote?
Well, one thing I'm doing now that I didn't think I'd ever do is I'm actually also playing in a in a tribute band,
Nice.
which is I would only do I only wanted to do a tribute band if it was uh like Bon Jovi, Guns N' Roses, Kiss, and maybe I don't know, maybe like some other band. And it would have to be like, it had to be like truly authentic, and it have to sound perfect. So this about uh about a year ago, this Bon Jovi band from up in North Jersey, they asked me to fill in for some shows, and I did that, and then they asked me to just become a member like back in December. So
Nice.
so I've been doing that. So I, as far as like gigs and stuff, I've been doing that maybe a couple times a month. Nothing in our area, more like North Jersey and New York and that stuff. And it's a lot of fun, man. And the money is really, really good. And it's nice to finally make some money after years of uh losing money and
I
not
hear
getting
you.
anything back. Not that I ever wanted to, I've never from day one never wanted to play music to make money off of, like, I remember when I was in my, the teenager and in my 20s, friends of mine were playing in cover bands. I never wanted to do that. But now that I'm older now, and I have bills to pay like everyone else. The money
I
is
hear you.
really good, and there's songs that I love, and the band, they look the part and they sound the part, and it's
Are you
it's
guys
definitely like
doing
an
any kind
authentic.
of are you doing theater dates and things along those lines?
Yeah, we have let me see. This throughout the summer we're doing like all these outdoor kind of like county, like
Gotcha, yeah.
these county shows. Like we did one actually in Sayreville, where Bon Jovi's from, last week, and it was like about 1,000 people there. It was great. So we're doing a lot of
Wow.
stuff like that, like these, these New Jersey county type outdoor shows. And then in the fall we do have uh some of those like smaller theater gigs. Like we have one in Long Island in November, I think. Some theater out there. But yeah,
Gotcha.
the band is still kind of new. It's only been, I think they've only been around for a couple years. So yeah, I mean,
What is the name of the band?
they're called Never Say Goodbye, and it's I
Nice.
mean, it is like you'd think you're seeing Bon Jovi in '87 or something. I mean, the singer, looks exactly like John Bon Jovi with the hair and the man. It's ridiculous. It's crazy.
You guys honestly might be a hot commodity coming up in the fall with Bon Jovi doing what I think it's 9 shows at Madison Square Garden in New York,
In
something
July,
crazy like
yeah,
that.
actually next month, yeah,
Oh,
coming
next
up,
month. I thought it
yeah,
was
actually in a couple
the
weeks,
fall.
yeah. So, yeah, I mean, it's crazy now that I'm in this band. uh, my social media algorithm is a lot of this Bon Jovi stuff coming around. So I see all I see all these different tribute bands. Like I had no idea there was so many Bon Jovi tribute bands. Like, there's a few in Jersey alone, and in Pennsylvania, and all over the country, really. But
Just get
it's
all the drummers together and take a big Tico pic.
yeah, yeah, right.
So, Damian, great catching up with you, my friend.
Yeah, likewise, man. It's been a while.
Have a great weekend. Have a great 4th of July. Send my love to
You
everybody.
too. You too, man. Thank
Have
you.
a good
Have
one.
a good one.
See.
See you.
All right, so there was Damian MonteCarlo, a good friend of mine. It had been a really long time until since we had talked, but